First contact with the impossible. Admiral Vexra Torin of the Galactic Confederation stood motionless on the observation deck of Zephyr Station, her four slender arms crossed as she stared at the holographic display. The planet rotating before her eyes defied everything she had learned in her 247 cycles of existence. Nexus 427 was classified as a Class 15 death world, the highest danger rating in the Confederation's extensive catalog of planetary bodies. Yet there they were, unmistakable signs of civilization. "Run the scans again," Science Officer Drell, Admiral Torin ordered, her voice steady despite her inner turmoil. Her crystalline exoskeleton shimmered under the soft lighting as she leaned closer to the display. Officer Drell, a methane-breathing Quarian with translucent skin that revealed the complex network of neural pathways beneath, manipulated the controls with practiced ease. "Confirmed for the 5th time, Admiral. The settlements are real. Energy signatures indicate advanced technology. And there are life signs, millions of them." Captain Jorl, a stocky Vexillian with armored plates and specialized optical receptors designed for the dim light of his homeworld, joined them at the console. "It shouldn't be possible," he muttered. "The gravity is 1.9 standard. The oxygen levels alone would cause spontaneous combustion in half the species we know. Not to mention the tectonic instability and extreme weather patterns." Admiral Torin's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. "Yet someone lives there. And thrives, apparently." The communications officer, Lieutenant Nhavi, a serpentine Alithian whose species communicated primarily through color changes along their length, flashed a pattern of urgent purple. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the surface. They've detected us." The bridge fell silent. First contact was always a delicate situation, governed by strict protocols established over millennia of interspecies diplomacy. But contact with a species that could survive on a Class 15 death world? There was no protocol for that. "Put it through," Admiral Torin commanded, straightening to her full 3-meter height. The holographic display shifted, and a bipedal creature appeared. It had no exoskeleton, instead covered with a soft-looking external layer in varying shades of brown. Dark filaments sprouted from the top of its head, and 2 forward-facing eyes regarded them with unmistakable intelligence. "Greetings, unidentified vessel. This is Director Eleanor Blackwood of Nova Haven on planet Nexus 427. We've detected your approach and thought it was time to introduce ourselves." The bridge crew exchanged glances of astonishment. The translation matrix had worked perfectly, suggesting these creatures had already analyzed and decoded Confederation standard communications. "This is Admiral Vexra Torin of the Galactic Confederation. We did not expect to find sentient life on this world." The creature, Eleanor, smiled, displaying flat teeth with disturbing small points. "Yes, we get that reaction frequently. We're humans from Earth. We established Nova Haven 26 years ago as our 3rd extrasolar colony." A data alert flashed on Admiral Torin's private display. "Earth, Class 14 Death World. Species, Human. Status, Pre-FTL civilization confined to home system. Last contact, 78 cycles ago. Threat assessment, high. Contact protocol, minimal interaction advised. Our records indicate your species had not developed interstellar capabilities," Admiral Torin said carefully. "Your records are outdated," Eleanor replied pleasantly. "We achieved our first FTL jump 43 years ago. Nova Haven is our most ambitious colony yet, though we have settlements on 6 other worlds now." "All death worlds?" Captain Jorl asked, unable to contain his curiosity. "We prefer challenging environments," Eleanor said with another smile. "Nexus has slightly higher gravity than Earth and more oxygen, but the climate is actually milder. Makes for excellent farming in the southern valleys." The casualness with which she described conditions that would kill most spacefaring species sent a chill through Admiral Torin's thermal regulation system. "Would you care to visit?" Eleanor continued. "We've prepared suitable accommodations for various non-human physiologies. Our diplomatic quarter has adjustable atmosphere and gravity settings. These humans had built accommodations for species they hadn't yet encountered, a level of foresight that spoke volumes about their intentions to engage with the wider galaxy. After extensive discussions and safety protocols, Admiral Torin led a small delegation to the surface. The shuttle's compensators strained against the planet's punishing gravity as they descended through turbulent storm systems that the humans had described as a touch of rain. Nova Haven sprawled impressively between a mountain range and a vast ocean. Structures of varying sizes formed intricate patterns interwoven with green spaces. Vehicles moved along elevated roadways while humans walked casually under gravity that required the visitors to wear mechanical assistance frames. Their landing pad featured a sealed reception facility with atmospheric controls. Director Eleanor greeted them personally, towering over most of the delegation. Up close, the human appeared even more unsettling, dense musculature visible beneath artificial coverings, moving with effortless precision in gravity that would crush most species' cardiovascular systems. "Welcome to Nexus," Eleanor said warmly. "We're honored to be your first human colony visit." The tour revealed Nova Haven's impressive achievements. 26 years had produced a self-sustaining settlement with advanced agricultural systems, manufacturing facilities, educational institutions, and residential districts housing over 2 million humans. "How do you manage the seismic activity?" asked Officer Drell, examining a structural support. "Flexible foundation systems," explained Eleanor's colleague, a male human named Hector Zhang. "And building materials engineered to withstand significant movement. We get a good shake every few months, but nothing the structures can't handle." "And the atmospheric storms?" Admiral Torin inquired, recalling their turbulent descent. "Good weather forecasting and robust construction," Eleanor said with a dismissive gesture. "The hurricane season can be challenging, but we've adapted our city design accordingly." They adapted to conditions that would tear apart most galactic habitats. These humans spoke of Category 5 hurricanes and Magnitude 8 earthquakes as mere inconveniences to be engineered around. Most disturbing of all was their comfort. Children played in parks under gravity that would crush most species' cardiac systems. Elderly humans walked without assistance. Everyone breathed the oxygen-rich air that would cause spontaneous combustion in methane-breathing species. As they observed a classroom of young humans learning about interstellar navigation, Captain Jorl leaned closer to Admiral Torin. "They're teaching their children about our star systems," he whispered. "In detail." Admiral Torin nodded slowly. "They've been studying us for some time, it seems. We maintain several observation outposts near major trade routes," Eleanor explained, catching their exchange with hearing that was evidently more acute than anticipated. "Purely for research purposes, of course. We wanted to understand the galactic community before making ourselves known." "Of course," Admiral Torin replied neutrally, making a mental note to review security protocols around human space. The delegation was shown to a banquet hall where humans demonstrated their remarkable cuisine, another adaptation to their harsh world. They ate foods processed with heat and chemical compounds that would be considered toxic to many species. "We've prepared separate meals for each of your physiologies," explained Hector, gesturing to specialized serving stations. "Based on our research of your nutritional requirements." The level of preparation was both impressive and concerning. These humans hadn't just survived on a death world, they had thrived, expanded, and prepared meticulously for contact with other species. As the tour continued, Admiral Torin observed a sobering reality. The galaxy now contained a spacefaring species forged in the crucible of extreme conditions, one so comfortable in hostile environments that they sought out similar planets as their homes among the stars. "We hope this meeting marks the beginning of positive relations between humanity and the Galactic Confederation," Eleanor said warmly as they concluded their initial tour, extending her hand in what their cultural database identified as a friendly gesture. Admiral Torin extended a trembling appendage in response. "Indeed," she replied, already composing the urgent report she would send to Confederation High Command. Any species that considered these conditions merely challenging, rather than absolutely lethal, was not one the galaxy could afford to misunderstand. As their shuttle ascended through another storm system, Admiral Torin watched Nova Haven's lights gleaming through the clouds, a testament to humanity's terrifying resilience. The implications were clear: humans were either going to be the Confederation's most valuable allies or its most formidable challenge. And she wasn't certain which possibility concerned her more. Revelation of strength. The second day on Nexus 427 began with what the humans casually referred to as a bit of a tremor. To the Confederation delegation, it felt like the end of existence, the ground shifting violently beneath their mechanical assistance frames, alarms blaring throughout Nova Haven. Admiral Torin had experienced combat situations that were less terrifying than these 30 seconds of geological instability. Yet when the shaking subsided, the human response was even more unsettling than the earthquake itself. They simply continued with their daily activities. Just a 6. 4, explained Chief Engineer Marcus Okafor, checking a device on his wrist. Barely worth mentioning. Now, where were we with the tour of our geothermal energy facility? The delegation exchanged glances of mingled horror and fascination. What the humans dismissed as insignificant would have triggered planetary evacuation protocols on most civilized worlds. Your structures withstood that with no damage? Captain Jorel asked, his armored plates still clicking together nervously. Marcus smiled. They're designed to handle up to a magnitude 10. We build to last on Nexus. The geothermal facility itself was another marvel of human engineering, massive turbines harnessing the planet's volatile core to power the entire city. The facility operated in conditions that would melt standard Confederation equipment, with ambient temperatures approaching 60 degrees Celsius. The technicians worked 4-hour shifts in cooling suits, Marcus explained, gesturing to humans moving confidently through the superheated environment. Though some of our engineers from equatorial Earth regions can handle longer exposures without assistance. Science Officer Drell's translucent skin rippled with patterns of scientific excitement. Your species' temperature tolerance is remarkable. Do all humans possess this adaptability? We vary quite a bit, Marcus replied. Humans evolved across dramatically different climate zones on Earth, from Arctic regions to deserts. Some of us tolerate cold better, others heat. That's why we're so successful at colonizing diverse environments. Admiral Torin noted this information carefully. A species with built-in environmental adaptability would be formidable space colonizers, capable of establishing footholds in systems other species would avoid. The tour continued to the agricultural sector, where vast domed structures housed crops from Earth alongside experimental hybrids adapted to Nexus conditions. The human called Hector Zhang, who served as Nova Haven's agricultural director, led this portion of the tour. We're approaching complete food self-sufficiency, Hector explained, displaying rows of plants growing in nutrient solutions under precisely calibrated lighting. These advanced hydroponic systems produce 4 harvests annually, with 30% higher yields than traditional soil farming. Your efficiency is impressive, Lieutenant Nhavi commented, her scales shifting to reflective blue. But surely the extreme conditions of this planet limit what you can grow. Hector laughed. Actually, the higher gravity and oxygen levels produce more robust crops with increased nutritional density. We're exporting our agricultural techniques to other human colonies, even Earth is adopting some of our innovations. This revealed another disturbing reality: humans weren't merely surviving on Nexus, they were using the harsh conditions to advance their technologies and capabilities. The delegation was then escorted to Nova Haven's Research Center, where Director Eleanor introduced them to Dr. Kaito Nakamura, the colony's chief scientist. We're particularly interested in your propulsion technologies, Dr. Nakamura said without preamble. Our FTL systems are effective but inefficient compared to what we've observed from Confederation vessels. I'm afraid detailed technical exchange would be premature, Admiral Torin replied carefully. The Confederation has protocols for sharing advanced technologies with new species. Dr. Nakamura nodded amiably. Of course. We anticipated such protocols. We've simply been making educated guesses based on our long-range scans and theoretical models. The casual mention of humans conducting detailed analysis of Confederation ships sent another wave of concern through Admiral Torren. These weren't just Death World survivors, they were technological opportunists actively studying more advanced civilizations. Their tour was interrupted by urgent alerts echoing throughout the research facility. Emergency lights pulsed along corridors as humans moved with sudden purposeful energy. "What's happening?" Captain Jorel asked, his battle instincts triggering. "Weather system shifting unexpectedly," Eleanor explained, checking a holographic display that had appeared mid-air. Category 7 megastorm approaching from the eastern seaboard. Estimated arrival in 40 minutes. Category 7. Officer Drell's translator struggled with the concept. "Is evacuation necessary?" Eleanor and her colleagues exchanged amused glances. "No need for that. We just need to activate the atmospheric shields and recall anyone working outside the city perimeter. Standard procedure." The delegation watched in astonishment as Nova Haven transformed. Massive shield generators rose from hidden compartments around the city perimeter. Structural reinforcements deployed automatically along buildings. Citizens calmly shifted to emergency protocols with practiced efficiency. "Perhaps you'd like to observe our Storm Operations Center?" Eleanor suggested. "It's quite impressive and completely secure." The Operations Center was a masterpiece of human engineering, a reinforced bunker built into the mountainside with panoramic viewing screens showing the approaching weather system. The storm itself defied description, swirling clouds extending 20 kilometers upward, lightning strikes powerful enough to shatter stone, and wind speeds approaching 400 kilometers per hour. "This would devastate most Confederation outposts," murmured Captain Jorel. "We get worse during peak storm season," replied the operations director, a stern-faced woman named Gwendolyn O'Correll. "The real challenge is managing the storm surge along the coastline. That's why we built the tidal barriers." On the displays, enormous mechanical barriers rose from the ocean floor, creating a protective wall against waves that could swallow small cities. The coordination and technology required for such defenses spoke to centuries of engineering experience with extreme conditions. "How often do you face such storms?" Admiral Torren asked. "Major systems like this?" "About once every 40 days during storm season," Eleanor replied. "Minor storms are almost constant. That's why we located Nova Haven in this mountain valley, natural wind protection plus easy access to the ocean for commerce." As the storm made landfall, the delegation witnessed the full might of Nexus unleashed. The atmospheric shields glowed with dispersed energy as they absorbed lightning strikes. Buildings flexed but held firm against winds that could strip flesh from bone. Through it all, the humans monitored systems with calm efficiency, making adjustments and deploying repair drones as needed. Most remarkably, life within the protected city continued almost normally. Children attended schools in reinforced buildings. Commerce proceeded in underground markets. Citizens moved through covered walkways between destinations. What would be an extinction-level event for many species was simply Tuesday on Nexus. "You understand now," Eleanor said quietly to Admiral Torren as they watched the storm rage. "Why we seek out worlds like this?" "I'm not certain I do," Torren admitted. "Challenges forge strength," Eleanor explained. "Harsh environments demand innovation. Every problem we solve on Nexus makes us more capable, more resilient. The universe is full of dangers, we prepare by facing them deliberately." There was something both noble and terrifying in this philosophy. While the Confederation had spent millennia making the universe safer and more comfortable for its member species, humans deliberately sought hardship to strengthen themselves. As the storm subsided, leaving minimal damage in its wake, the delegation was escorted to Nova Haven's diplomatic complex for formal discussions. The building itself reflected human duality, aesthetically beautiful while structurally over-engineered to withstand apocalyptic conditions. Council Elder Jackson Reeves, the colony's senior political leader, joined them for these talks. His weathered appearance suggested advanced age by human standards, yet he moved with the same ease as younger specimens despite the crushing gravity. The Confederation represents over 300 spacefaring species, Admiral Torin explained. Our alliance promotes peaceful coexistence, technological exchange, and mutual defense. And membership requirements? Elder Reeves asked directly. Technological benchmarks, ethical standards regarding sentient rights, environmental stewardship protocols, and acceptance of Confederation law, Torin replied. The integration process typically spans decades. Reeves exchanged glances with Eleanor. Humanity moves somewhat faster than that, Admiral. We've established 7 colonies in 40 years. We'll likely have 20 by the end of the century. The implied message was clear: humans would not wait patiently for Confederation bureaucracy to process their application. They were expanding rapidly, with or without permission. Perhaps expedited protocols could be considered, Admiral Torin suggested, recognizing the need for diplomatic flexibility. Given your species' unique capabilities and potential contributions. The negotiations continued late into the Nexus night, covering trade possibilities, technological exchange limitations, territorial boundaries, and first contact protocols for future human expansion. Throughout the discussions, Admiral Torin noted the humans' remarkable preparation. They had anticipated nearly every Confederation policy and prepared counters to potential restrictions. As the delegation prepared to depart the following day, Nova Haven had already begun repairs from the megastorm. Construction crews moved efficiently through damaged sectors, rebuilding stronger versions of affected structures. We improve with every challenge, Eleanor explained as they walked toward the shuttle. Each storm teaches us something new. The city you see today is the 15th iteration of Nova Haven's design. Your adaptability is concerning, Admiral Torin admitted. The Confederation has encountered aggressive species before, but none with your particular combination of intelligence, resilience, and expansion drive. Eleanor's expression grew serious. We have no interest in conquest, Admiral. Earth's history taught us the futility of empire building. We seek challenge, not dominion. Yet you arm your colonies with weapons that could destroy cities, Captain Jorl observed, having noted the defensive batteries surrounding Nova Haven. We evolved as prey animals on a predator-filled world, Eleanor replied. Caution is encoded in our DNA. We hope for friendship but prepare for hostility, it's simply our nature. As their shuttle ascended through Nexus's turbulent atmosphere, Admiral Torin watched Nova Haven recede beneath them, a testament to humanity's terrifying capabilities. These soft-skinned creatures without natural armor or specialized adaptations had conquered a world that should have killed them instantly. Through sheer intelligence, cooperation, and stubborn determination, they had turned a death sentence into a thriving civilization. Back aboard Zephyr Station, Admiral Torin assembled her report for Confederation High Command. Her recommendations were clear: integrate humans quickly, learn from their resilience, and ensure they became allies rather than adversaries. Any species that considered Class 15 death worlds suitable for family housing would make either history's most valuable partners or its most dangerous enemies. What's your assessment, Admiral? Captain Jorl asked as she finalized the report. Admiral Torin's crystalline exoskeleton caught the light as she turned to face him. Humanity is dangerous, not because they intend harm, but because they've evolved to overcome impossible odds. They don't recognize limits that other species accept as absolute. They see insurmountable barriers as interesting challenges. Should the Confederation fear them? Fear? No. Admiral Torin's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. Respect them, certainly. Learn from them, absolutely. But most importantly, we must understand them. The universe became a different place the moment humans achieved faster-than-light travel. They will reshape the galaxy. Our task is ensuring they do so as our partners rather than in spite of our resistance. As Zephyr Station prepared to depart the Nexus system, long-range scanners detected 3 more human vessels approaching, colony ships, according to their transponders. Humanity's expansion continued, unstoppable as the storms of their chosen death world. The galaxy would never be the same again.